All right, so let's go ahead and create a stack bar chart. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up here to our visuals. So we're going to come up here where it says stack bar chart. So we'll click on stack bar chart. And once we click on that, we see that we get quite a few options here. We get a y-axis, we get an x-axis, we get a legend, small multiples, and tooltips. Now the things that we're going to cover here is our x-axis, our y-axis, and our legend. Okay, so the first thing we want to do here is, if we look over here at our data, we see that we have our city, cost, country, customer ID, a lot of different things here, right? But what we're going to do here is we're just going to create a simple stack bar chart, and all we want to do is just bring over our sales, and we're going to put that in our x-axis. And as you see, once we bring over our sales and our x-axis, this is what our visual looks like. Just a simple bar, right? And if we come back here, click on this, we want to look for this and click on that. And now we want to add our y-axis. And if we see over here, we have our date, and the date is actually set up in a date hierarchy. But what we want to do is just drag over our year. You can drag it over, or you can click on this where it says add data, and then you can just basically have it here at your fingertips for the most part. And now we just basically added our data from there. All right, so now our stack bar chart looks a lot different. And to just continue developing this, we'll come here, and now we have a legend. So if we want to add something to our legend, we'll just add a region. So we'll just say region, and we'll see that now we have our regions added to our legend. All right, so now let's get into formatting this visual. So if we want to format this, we are basically already here. We'll just minimize this filters pane, and we see we can format this visual by just coming in here to our axis. If we want to change the title to just say sales by the year, we can do that. And now it just says sales by the year and region. We can also select the desired font if we want to do that, as well as pick the font size and bold it. We can put it in the middle if we want to do that. And once we're done with our title, we can come down here to our x-axis, and we can change some things. If we want it to be the least years to the most years, we can change this to categorical, and it'll flip that. And if we want to change the values, we can also do that, as well as do the minimum and maximum range. And so if you want to make some changes to the values, change the size of them, feel free to go ahead and do that. And you can also turn the title on or turn the title off. You see that the title is on over here. We can just turn it off. We can also come down here into our x-axis and do some of the same things. We can show the values here. We can also change the color of the values if we want to do that, as well as the size. And we can also change our display units, as you see there in the thousands, so they're showing K's. If you don't want to see that and you want to see the value, you can just take that off, just change it to none. If you have decimal places, you can set the decimal places to 0 or however many spaces that you want. And you can also turn that title off as well. You also have a legend that you can turn on and off. If you want to turn it on, you can turn it off. You can do that by just simply toggling. And you can also change where your legend is at. So if you want to pick a new spot for your legend, you can do that by just selecting a few options here. You can turn on your grid lines, and you can turn off your grid lines here. So you can turn them off, you can turn them on. You can change them to solid or dashed. And you can do the same thing with the verticals. Just give you the ability to play with that and do that. So all you have to do is just pause, and you can set it up how you want without me getting too further down the line. You can turn on your zoom sliders if you want to do that, and you can turn them off. You can also set up your bars the way you want. So if you want Midwest to be another color, you can simply come here and change Midwest to another color, as well as if you want the West to be another color, you can come in here and change the West to another color. So just keep in mind you do that there where you see bars. And we can also turn on ribbons. If we want to turn on a ribbon, This will basically change it from a stack bar chart to a ribbon chart, but we want to keep it stack bar chart related. And we can also turn on our data labels. So if we want to see some of our data inside of our bars, we can turn on our data labels. We can also come here and change the positioning. So right now it is auto. We can change it to inside base. We can change it to inside end. We can also change it to inside center, which was the default. And I'll just give you the ability to do that and change it to your own desired aesthetic. We also have here where it says value, where it's basically saying sum of sales, and then it's saying auto display units. You have decimal places here. Some are missing a decimal place, so if you want to make sure that you have all the decimal places, you can just come down here and do 2. And if it's blank, you can show blank as 0 or show blank as something else. This is totally up to you. All right, and once you've done that, we just continue to go down here. If you want to turn on detail, you can turn on detail and add more detail to this. So let's just say you wanted to add in the profit. I can just turn on the profit and it'll show me the sales as well as the profit. I can show the quantity, so I can show the quantity as well as the sale. And I can also show the cost if I want to show the cost. All right. So that is more details that you can add there. You can toggle that on and off by doing that. And then you can also add in total labels. So if you want to add total labels at the end, this will basically just show you the sum of all of the regions and give you the total right at the end. All right. And that is how you create a stack bar chart in Power BI.